What's up, everybody? We are back again, about to dive into this part two of first time homebuyer program in Cali. Like always, if you guys don't live there, make sure you just stay in for the class, right? Because you might gain some new beneficial information, whether it be for you, whether it be for a family member or a friend. You might move to the area. You just never know. So it's not going to hurt to get some new information. And then, like always, we'll go through it. If you guys have any questions at the end, um, then we can get to it. You guys know I like to sit around and answer everyone's questions. Make sure you guys, get the info you need. We got a lot of people doing some good stuff. We got people closing deals. We got people sharing, the deals that they're in and all that good stuff. So we'll see if we have anybody in here, and I'll try to ask them a few questions, kind of put them on the spot. And go from there. So let's get to it. Let me share my screen with you guys. Cancel this. Get these out of there. All right, where are we at? Okay. All right, so for today's agenda, like I said, we're going to be going over part two of the first time homebuyer program in California. We went over part one, not last week, but the week before that. Last week, we just did a Q&A. We had a lot of good questions, a lot of good feedback. We had some people talk about deals that they're currently doing. We had some people talk about some issues that they were having. We had people sharing different things. So we'll try to tap into that again. I shared a little bit about what I'm currently doing, about the deals I'm in, things I'm trying to do. But if you guys have missed any of the classes, these are some of the things that we've talked about in the previous classes. All the different benefits to being in real estate, what type of expenses that you can expect within real estate, how to figure out how much property you can afford, how to find property managers, how to find real estate agents, what do home inspectors do, how to find mortgage lenders, how to find property managers, how to finance a deal. That's a big issue for some people is, finding people to help them find these deals and things like that to finance it. Then we talked about the first time home buyer program in Texas. We've talked about it in Florida. We've talked about one part of California. Now we're going to finish part two. And then we've also just did a live Q&A where people were kind of firing off, different questions they had or, different things that they were doing, whatever it may be. So, we're going to get into it. Like I said, today is going to be part two, and then we'll open up for a live Q&A. So we'll just try to run through this as quickly as we can, but make sure that everyone understands everything that I'm talking about. So, all right. So to pick back off where we left off at for the part one of the first time home buyer programs in California, this program right here is the Cal HFA, the USDA program. Is a USDA guarantee first mortgage loan program, which can be combined with the My House Assistant program, which is the My Home, which we'll talk about at the end. The My Home and School program can be used for down payment and closing cost assistance and for first-time home buyers only. So you guys will see already, since we've been doing this, California, that's one of their main things compared to the other states. Other states that we've covered, when you get the down payment assistance, it's pretty much like a grant where you don't have to worry about paying it back. But as you guys see, Cali wants their money. And even though they'll help you out, they still have restrictions and things like that. And we'll get into that at the end of these slides. So the USDA loan does have its own income limits and rural area restriction overlays. USDA income limits may be more restricted than the Cal HFA's income limits, and the more restrictive limits apply. And for that, here's the eligibility at the very bottom to know if you meet the requirements. It's going to base it based on county and things like that. So if you want to take a picture of this link, if I don't know if there's any way for you guys to click on it, screenshot if you're on your phone, or take a picture if you're on your laptop, write it down real quick, whatever it may be, so you guys can go see what those income eligibility is for this specific program. So here are a few of the borrower requirements. You must occupy the property as a primary resident. Non-occupant co-borrowers are not allowed. So if you want to have somebody else, on this property, if they're not occupying this resident with you, they're not going to allow to be on there. So, if it's like a mom or a dad or aunt or someone who has either better credit than you, or they have the money they want to be put on it, if someone's not occupying this resident with you, they're not allowed to be on this property with you. Cal HFA borrowers must complete the homebuyer education counseling and obtain a certificate of completion through an eligible homebuyer counseling organization. So this is one thing with the California first time homebuyer program. And I have a link that I'll get you guys for this. But they do want people to take classes, and these classes are good. It's going to cover a lot of the stuff that I've already covered, and it's just going to have California specific. So a lot of these homebuyer education courses are pretty much going to be very similar based on every state. You're going to have your main bulk portion of it, showing you, the benefits, what to expect. If you ever run into financial trouble, there's going to be different programs and different outlets. And they've even created a lot more programs because a lot of people got hit hard with the coronavirus and things like that. So they have a lot of funding and a lot of different programs to help people out if you lose your job, if you just find yourself in too much debt, whatever it may be. So these classes are going to give you a lot of good information. So when you guys do go through these classes, make sure you guys take notes on a lot of stuff, even the stuff that you feel might not pertain to you, because you just never know when you can be in one of those situations, right? And so at least it'd be good if you just kind of write down some keywords or key things. That way, if you ever do go into that, you're like, hey, I remember, when I took the class that they have these programs that can help, because there's so many programs, including these first-time homebuyer programs, that people just don't know about. And I was one of those people, right? I don't want to act like I knew about everything. There's going to be so much within real estate that you guys are just going to keep learning as you keep growing within, your real estate, whatever it is that you want to do with it. You'll just keep learning and keep figuring stuff out along the way, right? It's almost impossible, especially as an investor, to really know all this stuff more. If you were a real estate agent or kind of went through some of these classes and trainings, you will learn a lot more. But if you're just like an investor and you're not an actual real estate agent, you're just going to kind of learn as you go, as you do different deals, as you meet different people, different agents, and all this good stuff that we always talk about. But yeah, to get back to this, the last point is meet USDA income limit eligibility, which I gave you guys that calculator for, so you guys can go in there. It's going to ask you to put it in, your state, your city, your county, all that stuff, and it's going to show you guys what the limits are for that area. So here goes some of the property requirements for this type of loan. It has to be a single family, 1 unit resident, including approved condominium PUDs, guest houses, granny units, and in-law quarters may be eligible. So most of the time, that's just going to be, I like to tell people kind of like a pool house. How some people have a pool house in the back, or some people just have like a smaller house out back. There's, certain restrictions that those guest houses and granny units and stuff have to have. So you have to fall within those restrictions, but that's the easiest way to kind of give you an example. Those smaller houses that are typically behind someone's house, those are considered guest house, granny units, and things like that. Manufactured housing is permitted. Please check with your Cal HFA approved loan officer for specific requirements. Like I said, they have those specific loan officers that go through these trainings for these programs, so they'll know exactly what you can and can't do. So any questions that you guys might have, if you're trying to get creative with this stuff or do something, that might not even be on here, those loan officers will let you know. You just have to be upfront with them, like, hey, I'm looking to maybe do this. Is this an option or is this not an option? No harm, no foul, but you'll never know unless you ask. Condominiums must meet the guidelines of the first mortgage. There is a 5-acre maximum on the size of the property, so you can't go, find something that's 10 acres or more, or more than 5 acres. So you can't get too crazy with the size, but 5 acres is a pretty big size to be able to get into, off of a program like this. That's pretty big. Property must be located in a USDA eligible rural area. And here's the eligibility for that USDA. This is the actual USDA website. So they actually have a lot of good other information on there. So if you guys want to copy this, screenshot it, write it down, whatever, go mess around on the USDA website, because you guys might find more information based on wherever you're at. This is not just California specific. This is for everything. So these USDA programs, these rural area, you can get into some good real estate investing in rural area. They have their own kind of little guidelines. It's kind of interesting. You'll find out that more areas are considered rural than you would think, right? So when I started looking at this stuff, I was thinking rural. I'm thinking out in the middle of nothing, out in the middle of nowhere, but that's not always the case. So yeah, get on there and look. You might be interested in rural real estate. That's, you know, I know I always talk about how real estate has its own niches. There's different things that you can do within real estate. Rural real estate investing is another way that you can go about this real estate stuff. I actually follow a guy who does it. I personally don't invest out in the middle of nowhere or what's considered rural investing, but I follow a few guys who do, and they make pretty good money in it. He's in the Kentucky area, I believe. I know a few people who do it out in Texas, and I know someone who does it out in Iowa. So yeah, don't sleep on that. What's the interest rate, right? This is going to be something important to know, because you're going to want to know what you're going to be looking at spending every month. So even though you can qualify for these programs, everything that I've been teaching still applies. You still need to make sure you're looking for houses that you can afford. Just because this program will help you out with the down payment, and this program will help you out getting into these homes, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to help you with the payment. So you have to be able to know, and they have all these different calculators. And when you work with a loan officer, and I have, you know, that information down below for you guys to, you know, once you kind of go through what your finances are, you know, what type of income you have, what type of debt you currently have, they'll be able to set you up on point and say, okay, based on your debt to income ratio and your current income, you know, you could afford this amount. And then so based on what they tell you, so if they tell you, we can, you know, give you a $250,000 loan, that doesn't mean necessarily go out and search for a $250,000 house, because you need to still know you're going to have this payment for this, you're going to have this payment for that. So you're going to want to calculate your other, you know, utilities and all this other good stuff that you're going to want to calculate. So just because they say they'll give you a $250,000 home, that doesn't mean jump to every $250,000 house you see, right? You might want to look in that 200, 220 price range based on what your income is. So, you know, they're going to do their calculations to let you know what you can afford, but that doesn't necessarily, you always want to go with the max of what anybody will say you can afford, right? You need to know what your finances are. You got to be true to yourself, and you need to know based on your current spending habits, your income, you know, what you got coming in income wise. That's how you'll make your determination. So that's a good start. So anyways, what's the interest rate? Interest rates will vary depending on your financial circumstances, lender fees, and other factors. So interest rates can also change daily. They recommend that you check with the Cal HFA approved loan officer to receive an accurate rate quote for this program. Cal HFA does not lend money directly to consumers, so you're not going to be getting it from them. They work through and use approved lenders to qualify you, the consumer, and to make, you know, all the mortgage loans and things like that. So you're going to go, you're not getting the money from Cal HFA. You're going to go through a lender that they have, you know, approved lenders that they have. And that's who you're going to be, you know, that's who's going to be going through all your financials, not going to be the real estate agent, none of that, right? So once you get with that loan officer, you figure out how much home you can afford. Then that's when you go find yourself a real estate agent. You say, hey, you know, I'm looking to use this program. You know, you're going to want to find an agent who's dealt with this program before. That way, it's just when you find agents and when you find loan officers who deal with these programs specifically, and they have many of them, it just makes the process that much easier. And it just keeps everybody on the same track. You don't want to be bouncing around. You don't want to work with the lender who doesn't know all the ins and outs of these programs. You don't want to be working with the agent who doesn't know all the ins and outs, because you could be missing something. Something could go wrong. It could delay the process. You can end up missing out on a property you found that you like. So many things could go wrong. So yeah. So, all right, where are we at? Yep, and does not lend to consumers. They use approved lenders. These fees will be different depending on lender. So yeah, once you find a lender and go through all that stuff, they'll let you know all that. So here's for the Cal HFA programs. Here goes some lenders. So copy this, write it down, screenshot it, do whatever you need to do, and then some sample APR. So you can kind of click on this link, and then it's going to show you different loan amounts, different kind of interest rates, and it will kind of show you a good idea of what type of payments to expect. So it's not going to be completely accurate. It's just a template. It's just, you're going to have to, once you find a loan officer, they run everything, then you'll get way more accurate numbers. So it's just a good guesstimate, just so you can kind of get an idea. As you're doing your shopping, you can kind of know what to expect as far as payments and things like that. And just like a lot of the programs, you got to have them home education that we were talking about earlier. So these are going to be the two options that you have, either online or in person or virtual. There, a lot of stuff is going virtual these days, just because we're still slowly recovering from everything. But Cal HFA firmly believes that home buyer education and counseling is critical, and honestly, I do too. It's 99. I don't know what the in-person or other fees are, but it's this $100 to get this education, is going to be great, because like I said, it's going to be stuff that's going to be able to help you, if you run into financial hardship, if you want to get creative. There's going to be so many good things. It's just a day-long class, and I'm all for more education and learning and things like that. So it won't be as bad as it sounds. It's actually going to be a lot more beneficial for you, because you're going to end up learning a lot more. And it's going to be, like I said, some general real estate stuff to expect. And then they're really going to get specific for California or whatever state you're in. When you go to take these classes, they're going to have, most of the general knowledge is going to be the same state by state. And then when you get into, your state, what your state can and can't do, that's where a lot of things are going to be different. So it'll be good to take this class. Let's see where we leave off at. It's critical to the success and happiness of a homeowner, and requires homebuyer education and counseling for first-time home buyers using this specific program. So who has to take this homebuyer education and counseling course? Only one occupying first-time home borrower on each loan transaction. So how can you take these classes? Online. Like I said, it's an 8-hour course online, and then either in person or virtual. You got to find the Neighborhood Works America or any HUD approved housing counseling agency, and the fees are going to vary based on each place you contact. So let's go to the next one. So how do you apply for this program, right? That's, a very crucial question and things that everyone needs to know. So since Cal HFA is not a direct lender, the mortgage products are offered through private loan officers who have been approved and trained by their agency. These loan officers can help you find out more about the program and guide you through the home buying process, which is pretty cool. So like I said, here's again, here's how you can contact a loan officer in your area. So you go to this website, put the area that you're in, it's going to bring up, all the approved lenders. So it's great, right? They're approved through this program. They've been trained through this program. Here's a link to bring you specifically to them. You don't have to do a Google search. You don't have to use your network. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to do anything. They do it for you. It's right there. So write that down, screenshot it, go to it and check it out and find the lenders that are in that area. Even if you don't qualify right now, call them and say, hey, I'm looking to use this program. I don't know if I qualify. They'll run through everything with you, and they'll be like, okay, you don't qualify right now. You might need to get your credit up a little bit, or you might need to increase your income, or you might need to handle some debts, right? So it's good to contact these lenders and go through the process already, because if you don't qualify, you need to know how you can qualify, and you can start working towards that. Or if you do qualify, you can get the ball rolling and start getting stuff going right away, right? So definitely reach out and start getting that going. So what documents should I have ready when contacting a loan officer? So when initially contacting a loan officer, you may want to have this list of documents and information available just to, make everything go smoothly. You're going to want, some pay stubs. You're going to want some bank statements. I say about 2 to 3 months worth of bank statements. You're going to want to have your employment history, and you're going to want to have about 2 to 3 years of tax returns just on standby, because these are going to be, things that they're going to want to see, right? They need to see proof of income. They need to see what's going on in your bank to make sure the money that you say that, from your pay stubs has been going through your bank And then they want to see where your money has been going out to. They want to make sure that you've had, stable employment history. And then they just want to take a look at your tax returns just to make sure everything lines up. So it's not them being nosy, trying to be all in your business, right? These are thoughts that I first have, because when people want to know all this stuff, it's usually them being nosy or being, you know what I mean? So it's okay. It's, don't let any red flags be raised or nothing like that, because I know a lot of people are skeptical about giving out certain information, which you should be. But with these certain programs, these are the things that they need, and I just kind of explain as to why they need them. And if you call these loan officers and you're dealing with these agents, and if you feel like they're asking you something that's a little shady or just doesn't sound right, ask them what the reasoning is that they need that certain information, right? You don't have to be rude or say it crazy. You just need to say, hey, why do you need what do you need this information for? Why do you guys need this? What are you guys looking at? Right? It's okay for you to ask questions. I do it all the time. I did it a lot. I wanted to know why they needed to know this, why they needed to know that, right? Because you're giving a lot of personal information, right? Your pay stubs, your bank statements, your tax returns, your social security number. This is not stuff that you just want to be passing around. And then it's people that you've never dealt with before. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't be afraid to ask, hey, what do you need this for? What do you need that for? Right? Things like that. So let's keep it moving. So here goes some other programs. I didn't really want to get too much into these programs because a lot of these programs are very similar and they have the same requirements, right? So as far as who can occupy them, you got to take the educational course, single family, you have to occupy it. All that stuff was pretty much the same for these programs. They're just a little bit different, right? So this VA loan program is going to be for our veterans, people who are currently active duty, people who are reservists that qualify to use their VA home loan, retired veterans, people who are currently out of the military. As long as you qualify for your VA, however you served, or if you're currently serving, that's going to be for you. So, you can dig a little more into it, but like I said, the requirements are going to be the same. The only thing that's going to be different is you're going to be able to use your VA benefits with it, and you still can use those other benefits that they're offering as well. The conventional loan program, so is a first-time mortgage loan insured through a private mortgage insurance on the conventional market. So the interest rate on the Cal HFA conventional is fixed throughout the 30-year term. And then the Cal Plus conventional loan program is a conventional first mortgage with a slightly higher 30-year fixed interest rate than the standard conventional program, and is combined with the Cal HFA ZIP, that zero interest program that we had talked about for closing costs. So that's the big difference from that one. So as far as like the type of property you can get, single family, all what we had talked about, these are all the same. They just have these slight little differences in their program. So if those are some programs that you guys think you might be interested in, just kind of write them down. And then when you talk to a loan officer, you can tell them, hey, this is the program I'm interested in, or this program, or you could even ask them, hey, what programs, do they have? Because from the time I did this, by the time you call, whether it be tomorrow, later this week, next week, a month from now, they might have something else, right? So programs are always coming and going. So just ask them, hey, I'm looking to do this. What type of programs do you guys have? Which program do you think will fit best for me? I'm trying to do this. I'm looking to do this, right? So you gotta talk with them. Like I said, these are going to be the best people to speak with because they deal with this on a regular. They've taken the training. They know what people can and can't do. So it's going to be the more questions you ask, the more benefit it will be for you. So here's that down payment assistance program that I was talking about earlier, that My Home that I was talking about. So the money you put down or the down payment on your home loan can be one of the largest hurdles for many first-time home buyers, right? Which is very understandable. That's why the Cal HFA offers several options for down payment and closing cost assistance. This type of assistance is often called a second or a subordinate loan. Cal HFA's subordinate loans are silent second, so that means that payments on this loan are deferred. So you do not have to make a payment on this assistance until your home is either sold, refinanced, or paid in full. So once again, those payments are deferred. So you don't have to worry about, making any payments on that assistance until your home is sold, refinance, or paid in full. Those are the only times you would have to worry about, paying that back. So this helps to keep your monthly mortgage payments affordable. So the My Home Assistance Program for FHA, My Home offers a deferred payment junior loan of an amount up to the lesser of 3.5% of the purchase price or appraised value to assist with down payment and or closing costs with a cap of $11,000. The USDA or conventional My Home offers a deferred payment junior loan of an amount up to the lesser of 3% instead of the 3.5% like the FHA of the purchase price or appraised value to assist with down payment and or closing costs with a cap of $11,000. And then for the people using the VA, My Home offers a deferred payment junior loan of an amount up to the lesser of 3% of the purchase price or appraised value to assist with down payment and or closing costs. So note that the 11,000 cap does not apply to school employees and fire department employees or those purchasing a new construction home, manufactured home, or home with ADUs. So that's something good to know for those of you utilizing that program or the other ones. So it doesn't apply to you if you fall in any one of those categories, which is pretty cool. Make sure you guys take advantage. So that's wrapping it up with the California first time home buyer program. That's kind of why I broke it into two, because, you know, they offer a lot more different programs than the other states did. You know, some key takeaways from California versus other states is that, you know, they will defer your the down payment help assistance, but a lot of other states, like when we did, I believe it was Texas, I believe, you don't have to worry about paying it back. I know it was either Texas or Florida, or maybe even both, helped cover everything. And it wasn't a loan or deferment, it was like a grant type of thing. So I believe it was Florida. Yeah, they offered all them, you know, every program that they had that down payment assistance where you didn't have to worry about paying it back. So a lot of great information, a lot of good ways to help people get into real estate. Like I said, the only thing from my real estate journey that I would have changed from now is I wish I would have known about these programs and I would have utilized it a lot sooner, and I would have utilized it first for sure, just to take the advantage, right? If there's programs out there for you to take advantage of and, you know, you qualify, and I would have qualified, I would have met the guidelines for a lot of these programs. So there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of these programs. You know what I mean? Like if they have them and there's money out there and you qualify and you meet all the guidelines, why not? If you can get the assistance, if you can get the help, it just will save you money. A lot of this is actually, you know, saving you the headache, because it can be a headache, you know, reaching out to multiple lenders and trying to find agents and trying to do this. If you can have, you know, if you have it to where you don't have to worry about using your network, reaching out, Google searching, you know what I mean? Because, you know, when you do a Google search of real estate agents and lenders, it's going to be like a hit or miss. You don't know what you're going to get when you're being referred, right? I've been referred to people and things just didn't pan out. So it's good. It's like with these programs, they have it to where it's a one-stop shop. You know, you click on the links, you put in your information. If you meet the guidelines, you take the next step, you reach out to the lenders, you know what I mean? And then you go from there, and then they'll be able to steer you in the right direction to, you know, either an agent or this and that. They can tell you kind of the ins and outs, or, you know, they can tell you, hey, right now it's been kind of hard for people, you know, but, you know, we'll try to see what we can do. You just never know. So that's the end of that one. Like I said, for those of you that have other states, all I ask of you guys is just to send me whatever state you guys would like me to do next. So we've covered California, we've covered Texas, we've covered Florida. So wherever state you're at, if, you know, if I didn't cover your state yet, or if you just want to know information on another state, shoot me a DM on the Well Squad in the messages. Send me a message. All you have to do is just send me your state, right? You don't have to send me anything else. Just, you know, what up? Can you do, I don't know, Colorado next or Washington next, whatever it is that you guys want to know, just shoot me a message and let me know. So anyways, we'll open the floor up this time for, you know, any questions. If any of you guys are currently in deals, if you're looking at deals, haven't been able to get a deal, if you got any questions about real estate, like I said, go ahead and start firing off.
Yo, Ace, quick question.
What's up, man?
I appreciate you as usual. If, say, for instance, I close on a property and 2 months later I want to be a co-signer on the property, say for my niece, is that possible, or would
Yes.
I have to wait?
Nope, it is possible. It's just going to be based on that specific lenders, what all they're going to want to look at. So it is going to be possible. You know, they're just going to want to look at everything. They're just going to, you know, have questions and things like that. So
Okay, cool.
it is possible. They're just going to want to know, you know, they're going to run your credit. You know, they're going to see that if you just got a property, they're going to see that. And then they're just based on how you're going to be on that loan. If you're just going to be like a cosigner, you know, because you have better credit or what it may be. But yeah, they probably will have questions. So you just have all your ducks in order. That's all.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a question.
Hey.
Hey, I was in here the first time. I was from Sacramento. I had to go try to fix this, man. I didn't know what you was talking about last time, and after we got off, I remembered, but I wanted to hit it before the pandemic, but never did. But
Right.
fire stuff for sure.
Right.
So we met with the lender, pretty much. Just kind of wanted to update you on our process.
Right. You and your wife, right?
What was that?
You and your wife, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so the credit score is 660. So for the HFA in California, you need a 660 right now. So one of us have it, the other doesn't. So we still he basically was like, give it 2 months. And then he can give us the pre-approval letter and we can start looking.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, so I was tapped into Earn Your Leisure yesterday, and they was talking about rehab loans. Do you know anything about that and how we would be able to maybe tap into both the HFA and then possibly getting a rehab loan if we got something that was, you know, lower price that needed some work?
Right. So what you're talking about is FHA 203. So that's going to be different than utilizing this first-time home buyer program, because I didn't see anywhere where they allowed, you know, like builds and rehabs like that through this program. Did you ask when you contacted the lender? Did you ask him anything about if they offered any type of those for that program?
He was pretty much saying that it needed to be pretty close to turnkey.
Right. That's what I was saying. Everything was looking for this first-time home buyer program, but everything needs to be turnkey. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't use the program and then turn around and use FHA for the 203K program, which will help you have, you know, you'll get the loan pretty much using that program. I don't know how long. So what you do, start reaching out to lenders. Those situations that I'm looking to possibly do the first time home buyer. You know, maybe a year down the road, I want FHA. How would that work? And that way you don't have guessing information. I would contact a couple of because also you want to lender to the FHA. So if you do all that now, you want to be doing both of them at the same time, right? So you guys are already doing everything you need to do for this first time home buyer. So if you're doing everything you need to do for the 203K loan, but that way, you know, if a year comes up or a year and a half, 2 years down the road, you have all the information already for the 203K. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you're gathering the info now. It's like, why not get all the information now so you can start setting up all your ducks in a row, right? So it's like you guys contacted the lender for this program. And like I said, you qualify for the credit, but your wife doesn't. So it's like now you guys know, okay, you got to wait a couple months and do this. So it's like now you need to be doing this for the 203K because now you know you want to do more, right? You don't want to just get into one property. You want to get into multiple. So if you're doing all this research at once, you can start lining your ducks in a row for the next program while you're finishing up the first program. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. That makes total sense.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Keep
Will do.
What's up, Ace? It's Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Nothing much, man. I just want to give you guys, it's kind of off topic of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
But just
go
want to give
ahead.
you an update. I listed my vehicle today on Turo for the first time, man. And it instantly, I wasn't even able to finish the COVID course. Like they have a COVID course you have to go through to list the vehicle. I
Right.
wasn't even able to finish that, and it instantly booked like within 30 seconds. It was so crazy.
I
And then
see
an
you
hour
posted
later,
it
not
on
even
IG.
an hour later, like 30 minutes later, I got a second booking already.
Man, I seen you posted it on IG, man. I see. I told you, right? It's man, this stuff is literally falling into place. But like the key thing I told you, you would never know until you got that car listed, right? So now in
Yeah.
hindsight, now you can like breathe. But I know it was stressful, right? You were kind of on the fence. Should you get a car? Should you not get a car? And exactly everything I told you is lining up just like how it's supposed to play out.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Like, I'm so glad I took the leap because I even getting the car and like having the car in my possession and like going through the process and educating myself on it, like it was still a little bit, there's a little anxiety tied to it. But
Sure.
I got it listed, and then all the stuff I had to do when I listed it, there's a lot more stuff that I wasn't prepared for. So I went and did everything today. So I think I might make a video on that stuff too. But like now that it's listed and it's on there, I feel so much better, like a weight's off my shoulders because now I see it works. Now what I have to play around with is the listing price. How much am I going to price it for? What ended up happening is because I wasn't able to go down there and list it at my own price yet, Turo automatically listed the vehicle at their like automatic adjusted pricing tool, whatever they use, and it ended up pricing at $35 a day with a 10% discount. So I got a little bit less than what I wanted, but the most important part is it booked. So
Right.
I'm really, really happy. I appreciate it, man. I can't stress enough how much I appreciate you and how much you motivated me a lot. You pushed me to go do it, and I was like, you know what? Let me go try it out, and it's worked out so far. So I appreciate you, man, for real.
I don't even personally know you, man, but I'm really proud of you because I know that feeling of how it is, and I still have that feeling to this day, and I know other people out there listening have this feeling too. When you start into something that you don't know anything about, you don't know how it's gonna go, and when you have to put money up and risk money, right? It's kind of that fear of the unknown, right? You're like, damn, if I'm gonna be putting this money up, like there's no guarantee that I'm gonna get this money back, but this is what it takes, right? You have to start doing things and taking risks. And something. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Chris is doing the car rental thing. So he got a car, at a good price, and he listed. There's all these different apps and websites that you can list your car on to rent to people, whether if they want to rent it to drive it or rent it to Uber or Lyft or Uber Eats or whatever the cause may be. But you can actually become a car rental business yourself, right? Just by listing either one car or a fleet of cars. So Chris finally took the leap. He was kind of on the fence if he should do it or not because it's tapping into something he's never tapped into before. But he did it. He went through the whole process. He finally got it listed, and now it's working. Right. The same will apply for real estate. The same will apply for if you guys start your own business. The same will apply if you guys want to do whatever it is that you want to do. But it's like you're never going to know until you take that chance and you take that risk. Right. No risk, no reward. So good job for Chris, man. Good job for starting it. Chris is about to utilize the first time home buyer program out in Florida too. So it's like, man, this time in 5 years, Chris is going to be looking back and he's going to be like, man, I'm glad I took that leap with Turo because he might end up turning that into, he might list the whole fleet of cars. Or the same thing with real estate, right? It's like maybe not, but it's like now his feet are wet. He got over the hard part. Now it's the, how to constantly keep these cars listed, how to constantly keep making money from this, right? So it's like you got to keep going, keep growing, and don't put your foot on the gas, or on the brake, just because you got to list it. You want to keep your foot on the gas. You want to keep it booked as many times as you can, and you want to learn all the ins and outs. So when you list your next car, you can get it booked, right away. You know what you did with that first one, where you went wrong. And the same thing is going to apply with, when you guys start getting rental properties, when you start getting a property to rent it, whether if you want to Airbnb it, or if you want to rent out rooms to college students or to people coming in, if you're next to like an Amazon, or if you're next to somewhere big where people are constantly going. I know people who just rent out their rooms because they live next to either a big plant, or they live next to a university, or they live next to somewhere. So it's like the same stuff is going to apply. You guys just got to carry this stuff. You got to carry it over to each little thing that you guys do, and it'll work out. So that's dope, man. Proud for you. Happy for you.
Yeah, man. I got to tell you, something I'm actually going to do next is we've been talking about real estate so much. I thought about, you know what, what this is in reality is like auto state. You know what I mean? Like it's not real estate, but it's auto state. So I think I'm gonna make a little mini course, like an intro to Turo. I'm gonna call it auto state. I'm gonna put it out to educate people, because I've had people hitting my DM that I've never even met in my life. They're like, hey, how do you do this? So like, I appreciate you, because you guys are motivated. You showed me the way. You showed me the way. You showed me how to do things, and now I have the opportunity with the knowledge that I have to educate others on what I'm doing. Because even if it's the simplest things, sometimes people need direction. So I appreciate you for real. You guys have done so much for me, and you don't even know it, man. I appreciate it.
Man, that's what this is all about, man. Seriously.
I was just gonna add, my buddy works for Enterprise right now, and he said just what he said they have cars, but the prices right now are crazy. And I found myself even going on the Toro because I need a car coming up, and I'm like, let me look into this, and it was actually a cool ass thing. Like you get cheap cars for cheap rentals, but he said SUV is going for like 1,200-1,400 right now just for a week. So it's crazy prices right now in the rental world.
Yep, because what happened was when this whole pandemic hit and everything went crazy, what a lot of car rental businesses did, they were having to sell a big portion of their fleet, because obviously they didn't have any rentals and they still had to, make money where they can. So a lot of businesses rented out, and I think they end up biting off more than what they can chew. So now not only do they have a limited supply for car rentals, they see traveling is picking back up. Businesses are open back up, states are opening back up, and people are flooding to these areas because people have money, right? When you go to the malls, it's like everything we talk about, in the Wealth Squad, as far as whether it be stocks, real estate, side hustles, whatever. It's interesting when you just kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture and look at what's happening. The malls are packed again, the airports are packed again, restaurants are packed again, right? Everywhere is packed again. So that means everything is going to be booming again. Everything is back up and running. And, all these companies that had to sell off this and sell off that, now people can't even keep up with supply. Furniture stores are running out of stuff. Pizza places are running out of like dough. Car rental businesses don't have enough cars to rent. So it's like they're, increasing the prices because, supply and demand. They don't have a big supply, but there's a big demand, so they can raise the prices up. So, people like us who are on the small end and don't own those car rentals, we can do our own thing, right? You can start your own car rental business by buying a car, putting it on Turo, hire a car, all these different platforms. You don't have to be a bank, but you can start your own ATM business. You can go buy ATMs, fill them up, and put them around different areas, nail salons, barbershops, colleges, hospitals, police stations, right? You can get the vending machines. You can put vending machines up. You can be, go to Costco, get that stuff at wholesale price, put it in there, you make a profit. So there's so many different things that you guys can do to be bringing money in. You just got to do something.
Heck yeah, check out the pallet auctions in your area too. On Friday, I called. There's one that's from 9 to 11. Their most expensive pallet they sold last week, because I asked them questions. They're like, the most expensive one we sold was $325. I was like, dang, like that's a steal. Imagine if you get you get a whole pallet of power tools for $325. Even if you discount all the power tools at 50 to 60%, you're still going to make a hell of a profit. So there's so many ways to make money. And I'll tell you, well, there's so many ways to make money, and Wealth Squad's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I'm part of Wealth Squad, is because without Wealth Squad, I would have never known about any of these things. Like Ashley, she's doing the pallet thing. I've been watching all her videos. I went back and watched YouTube videos and stuff like that too. It's just, there's so many ways you can make money that if you're not, I mean, like, it's all on you. There's so many ways. So like, I appreciate you guys again, man. I really can't express it enough.
Yep. Yeah, as you guys see, man, we get off topic here, but like I said, it's fine. Everyone's growing. It's good to hear, all you guys' different stories. It's really it's something else. It's dope, man. For me, it's dope. So yeah.
Hey, can we get an update on your auction house?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for those of you guys don't know, I talked about it before. I ended up buying a house in auction. The house is actually worth a lot more than what I originally thought it was worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and flip it. So I have some real estate agents in the area. They're getting ready to go over, take a bunch of pictures for me, and I'm just gonna list it, and I'm just gonna sell it. So that's my goal with that. So I ended up getting it for dirt cheap, bought it from an auction, got it for way under value with what I thought the current value was. Got it reappraised. The ARV is way more than what I expected. It's about 23,000 more than what I initially had told you guys before. So it should be a pretty good flip. So once I get it listed, I'll let you guys know how that goes. And I'll let you guys know how quick I get an offer and things like that. I still don't know what I'm going to list it for. I'm probably going to list it for about half of what the ARV, the after repair value is. That way I can get some, some good bites. Even if I can get a little less than that, I'll be fine. As long as I can get my money back and profit, $5,000 or more, I'll be happy from this deal. So I'll keep you guys updated as it goes. I did get the property manager, like I told you guys. Maybe one of these days I'll go over the contract. For those of you guys who don't know what property management contracts look like, I'll upload that contract that I have, and then I'll just kind of walk through it with you guys. One of these days I'll walk through the property management contract, and then what I did to get it listed. So since it's in an area I don't live in, I use my network, right? I'm always preaching you guys use your network. So I reached out to one of my real estate agents, and she's one of my favorite agents to use because she's really a dog when it comes to this stuff. Like if I need something from her, she gets back to me within 30 minutes to an hour. And I really appreciate that about her. And she really gets shit done. And that's the type of people you want to have around. Any type of network you have, you want to have people that don't bullshit around, people who don't get back to you, the next day. Sometimes, people are busy. I get it. They might need to get back with you in 24 hours, but I've had people who have taken 48, 72 plus hours to get back to me. Right. And when you're dealing with real estate and you're dealing with, deals, you guys know, if you guys went to look at any deals or put any offers, this, stuff goes quick. We're not the only people looking for these deals, right? We're not the only ones out there looking to do this and that. But anyways, one of my agents, I told her, I'm like, hey, she doesn't even live in the state. I was like, I got a property I need to sell. She said, give me 20 minutes. She made some calls. She reached out to someone. I had an agent in the area call me. She told me what she's going to do for me and all this stuff. So I'm like, hey, I'm just sitting back. You know what I mean? I'm just the money. I found the deal. I purchased the deal. And now I have people who are better at their jobs, way better than me, working for me. Right. And the cool thing about this is that in the real estate world, real estate agents don't make their money until houses sell. So it's like, I got them working for me and doing everything they possibly can to sell this property for me because they're not going to get paid until my property sells. So it's like, all I got to worry about is keeping up with the property taxes. And it's like $300-400, something like that a year. So even if I got to sit on this house for 10 years, property taxes, slowly, constantly increase. Maybe I'm out $5,000, right? I'm out of $5,000 for 10 years for sitting on this property. Even if it doesn't sell. So that just means the value is going to keep increasing, things like that. So I'm good. I found a great property for super, super cheap. Maybe if a year it doesn't sell and I want to maybe just rent it out, then I can just go ahead and rehab it and go that route. So I got options, which is cool. When you don't need money, that's the best time to make money. When you don't have to worry about panic selling anything, having to hurry up and get deals done. That's what you guys got to get to that point to where you're not pressed for money. So that way you don't have to, if you invest in the stock market or in crypto or whatever, when you get stuff at good deals, you just want to sit and keep making you more money. The same thing goes with real estate. When you find these good deals, you want to get them and you want to sit and you want your money to make you more money. But if if you're not taking care of your finances, at home and things like that, you're going to have to sell those good deals. You're going to have to panic sell. So you might be down, in the stock market, that property might be down. You might have to sell for less than what you paid for it or got it for. But when you're not pressed for money, when you don't have to panic sell anything, you can sit back, right? I got in my head, if it doesn't sell for 10 years, I'm already thinking, what is it going to cost me to sit on this property for 10 years, right? So start looking at that. I always talk about it. I always say, look into the future because you just want to have, you want to have different outlets. You want to, you don't want to be stressed about this stuff. You want to kind of have a good game plan for whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be a year game plan, a 5-year game plan, 10-year game plan, whatever. You just want to have some type of game plan. That way, if things kind of don't go how you want it to go, you feel like, okay, let me try this route and let me see if I can do it this way. Or if it doesn't work that way, you know, after 3 or 4 months, then you can say, okay, let me try this way. So it's just, you want to have good outlets, but that's where I'm at with the auction. And I'm actually about to get into, there's another auction starting tomorrow in hold on, let me see, where's it at? In Utah County. They have an auction going on. So I'm gonna hop in that auction tomorrow. I kind of like where the real estate market is headed in the Salt Lake area. I need to look and see what counties fall in that Utah County. I didn't even really do too much research yet. I just looked and seen when the auction was. But I'm gonna look a little bit more after I get off with you guys. I'm gonna look at all the properties that they have listed, and if I could find at least 5 that I'm interested in, and I'll probably hop in that auction. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Are you gonna sell as is, or are you gonna put some rehab into it?
Yeah. So,
and then also, did it have tenants? Because I think you said you didn't know the status of the home.
Right. So they did a walkthrough. You must have missed the last one where I was talking about it. So they did a walkthrough. Actually, no, I haven't talked about it on here. I talked about it. Me and Ashley went live. So it's completely trashed. It needs a new roof. It needs, so it's a 2-story. So the from the 2nd story down to the 1st floor, there's like a big ass hole in the floor, so you can see through that. One of the bathrooms needs to be completely redone. All the floors need to be done, and then just some landscaping and some paint. So it needs anywhere from about probably 25 to 50K in rehab, just depending on how good I want to get it. Right. I don't know if I want to get it just, you know, decent enough to catch a person's eye. But I think if anyone who gets it, they'll probably just want to do a complete rehab. And what's cool about the area is that the agent told me that they have some development going on in the area, which is going to be great for me. But she said that they don't have it scheduled until 2022, 2023, which is great for me. So that just means the value is going to keep going up. So I'm going to keep looking in that area for some other deals. They do have some good deals in that area. And it's right outside of Chicago, which is cool. So when Chicago starts to get, you know, too expensive and people start to migrate out, I think that town that I end up getting in is close to one of those areas where people migrate when it gets too expensive. So I got some good outlets.
That's what's up. Congrats, man.
Appreciate it. Oh yeah, and to your other question, it didn't have any. The tenants weren't in there, but it looked like they had just been in there. There was a lot of clothes, a dirty ass mattress, like utensils, plates, cups, backpacks, all type of just nasty ass trash everywhere. So I'll probably hire someone to just kind of go clean out like all that stuff, all the nasty stuff. So I'll probably spend maybe like 500 to $1,000 just to get like all the junk removal. And then maybe I might just do something to the landscaping just to kind of make it look semi decent. But that's probably it for now. I don't think I'll put any major rehab into it maybe until next year. So I'll just list it for sale. It's not going to cost me anything to have it listed for sale. So I'll just list it for maybe a year just to see what type of bites and what type of offers I get. And then if I don't get anything, then I'll probably end up just doing a complete rehab, and then I might either rent it out or I might try to flip it again. So we'll see. You guys got any last questions for me?
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead.
So I know I seen you put on there about like, the VA like loan and stuff like that. So I'm not in the service. I've never been in the service, but my mom, she was. And I know when I went to school or whatever, I was able to use like the VA benefits and stuff like that.
Right.
Now is that something that she would have to like, cause she had to like, I guess like transfer it to me or whatever, like for school? Like that have to be the same process as far as like with the home, like with the loan, or is that something that's just strictly
I
for
think,
people?
you know, I have to look. I don't know the exact on what can happen with the home loan, because I know you can transfer your GI Bill to your kids. I don't know about the VA home loan. I believe it's not until later on. And I don't even want to say because I just don't want to put that bad energy out there. But
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's like you get her benefits at a certain time. So I don't know if you can get them now, you know what I mean, while she's still with us. So I don't know how that works. send me a message. I can get you, I know I have the VA info. So that's just something that you'll just have to contact the main VA. They have like an 888 number. So just shoot me a message like, hey, this is the guy who's asking you about the VA, and I'll shoot you the VA's info. So you can just call and ask them, hey, can my mom transfer her VA home loan to me? I don't believe so, but I don't want to give you any wrong info.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right. If no last questions, we'll start to wrap this thing up.
Yo, Ace, have you actually personally got into the car rental business like Chris, or are you
So
planning on?
Chris hasn't yet either. So we started to, so he made some YouTube videos of when we were out looking. So one day we found a whole bunch of cars that met the criteria we wanted. And the next day when we went back, they were all sold. And we haven't been able to really find any cars that meet that criteria we want yet. So we're just waiting. His brother is probably about to do it quicker than me and him are going to do it. His sister already started. It's been working well for her. One of his brothers is getting ready to start. He's just waiting to find a good car. He found one, so he has to do a few things with that. But no, I haven't yet. Chris hasn't yet, but we're still working on it. And the cool thing about the car thing is it's not a very hard thing. It's pretty cut forward. If you either find a car, pay it cash, get a loan for it, get the inspection done, get all the insurance done, get it listed on one of the websites. So it's pretty cut and dry, straightforward. It's just something that you just got to take the time out, make sure the car is inspected, insured, and all that good stuff. So it's not a difficult process, but it is a process that just takes the time. And you got to do a little research, see what your car will get, things like that, see what's popular in your area and all that good stuff.
Okay, cool. Does it have to be a paid off car or?
Nope. No.
Oh, no. Okay.
Doesn't have
Cool.
to be paid off. So the goal is, if you were to get a car and let's say you have like monthly payments and things like that, you want all your payments and your insurance and stuff to be under like that 250 to 300 price range. So that way, if you're listing it and you're getting $500-600 a month, portion of that will go towards paying, the car note, the insurance, and then whatever's left over is, going to go to your pocket. Plus you want to keep a little money to the side for maintenance, because all that's going to be on you. Maintenance, keeping the car, clean and all that good stuff. So, you're gonna want to put a portion aside for those things, but you want your numbers to be to where, you'll be able to come out on top after. If you have a car loan, you want that car loan to be covered. And then if not, then, just make sure you're putting a portion to the side for, insurance and, for car maintenance and things like that. Just little things that could happen.
Right. That makes sense. Cool. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Any last questions? Anybody currently in a deal right now that cares to share? Nobody in any deals? Cool. All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Let's see. What are we at today? It's Wednesday. Hump day. The weekend is coming in hot. Yeah. The real estate market is crazy. It's still crazy. But that doesn't mean that there's not deals out there. Don't let this crazy market scare you away. Don't let it rush you into a deal that doesn't make sense. I have a friend, he was just so pressed on getting a deal that the deal wasn't the best deal. It's gonna take some time. The numbers just didn't add up. And that's what I constantly preach to you guys. Make sure the numbers make sense. You want the numbers to make sense. You want them to be in your favor as best as you can. Get them in your favor, right? Some deals you might have to come out of pocket for a little bit. Some deals you might be able to come out in the green right away. You just never know. Just take your time. Don't let nobody pressure you. Don't let any agents pressure you. Don't let this crazy market pressure you into getting into a deal that doesn't fit your numbers. It doesn't meet your needs. It doesn't match what you're trying to do and all that good stuff. So take your time with this stuff. like I said, and as you're taking your time, that doesn't mean don't keep educating yourself, right? You should be educating yourself every day. Every day I'm looking at deals, right? Even if I can't always get into the deals, I'm always looking at the deals. I'm sending them to my friends. I'm sending them to my family members. If I cross a good deal, sometimes I'll post about them online, not really too much, because it takes work, right? If I post deals online for the whole world to see, everyone is getting my time for free, right? Everyone is getting that valuable information, right? Because I take time with this stuff. So every day, I'm constantly always looking. I'm always looking at single families. I'm looking at auctions more now. I'm looking at, duplexes, triplexes. I'm looking at, 30 unit buildings. I'm looking at how to get creative. I'm still learning, you know what I mean? Because rules and stuff change. What was going on last year is not necessarily what's going on this year. So I'm still reading books. I'm still learning about sides of real estate that I haven't gotten yet, just because I just want to be knowledgeable, because I know maybe one day there might be a time, right? I never thought I was going to get tax deeds, but here I am. I'm going to tax deed auctions now. And I was learning about this about a year and a half ago, right before the pandemic hit. So I was already implanting that seed a year and a half ago, and I was just still learning about it, even though I wasn't in it. So make sure you guys are still educating yourself. Make sure you guys are just writing deals down. Just, get you a pen and paper, find a deal, see what the rents are going for, figure out how much insurance is going to cost you, figure out what the utilities would be, and figure out what the number would be, right? You can do this for 10 properties a day. It'll only take you probably 30 minutes to an hour to go through 10 properties a day, to research that area, to figure out what rents are. And then, write these addresses down, because you might not get into a property for a year. So that way, these numbers that you ran, go back a year later and see, like, okay, it raised in this area, this increase, rents increase, and I see that the value of the property increased. It's like, damn, that could have been me. So it's like, you're doing these research and you can go back and see, it's easy to get on a Google Maps to look up and down the area. You don't have to physically be in the area or even physically go. You can look at Google Maps, and Google Maps might not be current up to date, but it will give you like a good general idea in that 3D world thing that you can look at, right? There's so many different tools. If you have a family member or a friend in the area, ask them to, I do it all the time. I'll look at an apartment building or something somewhere, and I'll have someone, if it's in an area where I have someone, I'll ask them to kind of look for me, just to kind of give me an idea. I'll just like, hey, take a couple pictures, drive up and down a few blocks, let me know how the area looks. So reach out to lenders, reach out to agents, just talk to them, go to the groups, right? Just keep doing this stuff to where, you just want to know so much. So that way, when it's time for you to strike, you'll be well prepared. There's not going to be any doubt in your mind, and you'll be good to go. So good class. As always, I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day to sit in here with me. I appreciate you guys who ask questions. I appreciate you guys who share your stories, your input. Like I said, it's all positive energy. It's all good vibes. I want to see everybody winning, because you guys winning doesn't take away from me winning, right? At the end of the day, if everybody's out here hustling, that means I'm just going to have to go harder than the next person. So it's good to hear you guys' stories. It's good to hear so many of you guys are doing so many different things, right? We got so many good people doing good stuff. We have people slowly changing their lives. We have people, getting after the things that they want to get after. And that's more important than anything. So for me, just to hear you guys, how enthused you guys are about, this different stuff. It doesn't have to be real estate, right? And you guys are in here, it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate. It could be something else, but maybe from coming to these classes, it might trigger something. It might push you to get into something else. I don't know. Whatever it is, you got to figure it out. What you're calling, what you like to do. Try multiple things. There's so many things that I've tried and failed at. I've lost money at, but I kept going. I didn't let that stop me. I just figured out, okay, this isn't for me. Let me try this. And then boom, this is for me. So let me go a little harder at this. And then let me learn more about, how I can get creative with this and do all these different things. So the grind never stops. The marathon continues. And as you guys know, get money, buy income. So that's all I got for y'all for the night. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Finish out this week strong. We're about to head into the weekend. Keep that same energy that you guys have during the week. Keep that same energy during the weekend. and slowly remove yourself from that rat race so you guys can get to the things that are important. You guys can enjoy the people who are important in your life, and you guys don't have to be worried about, you know, all this bullshit, all the little stuff that we really shouldn't be focused on so much. We give our energy and our time to so many things that don't matter, that so many things that don't make sense. So many people just work to pay bills. That's not how life is meant to be spent. Life is to be spent with the people you love, doing the things you love, but you have to, you know, you have to work, you have to put in a little grind so you can get to those things. If you're not fortunate enough to come from a family that has money to where you have that luxury to take a break, right? Some of us don't have that luxury. So that's all I got for you guys today. That's my little preaching, and I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Ace.
Yep.